Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming and welcome in. Dolores was here bright and early. Maria Graham. Appreciate each and every one of you. Joanne Stevens. Hey, sissy. Long time no see. Actually, I just talked to her a couple of minutes ago, you guys. Excuse me. So, I hope everybody is having a good day. It's getting cool out here in Connecticut. I actually wore some sleeves because I was in the garden. I didn't want to get stuck or scratched up in everything and all of that going live. And I have so much to tell you guys. Well, as Dolores said earlier, I need 8 new family members to get to 2000. When I get to 2000, I will have a big party. Yankee Sister, Homestead, thank you for coming and welcome. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Mike's Chaotic Gardening, thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody. So, I had an early morning appointment, went running out. Why don't I do this one? Not always look like I'm squinting, you guys. I have something to show you as well. Can you see my mother's quilt is coming together in back of me? It is so big. We're going to sew on it tonight because I want to show you what to do when you have an oversized quilt. But first, let's get to the G in GQuat and let's talk about the garden. I was hurrying up and I didn't have time to do all that. I tried to put a short in because this quilt, can you see all the way up there, you guys? From the top of those black things, this is a 6 foot ceiling, so that's down. I have to put, but anyway, so far this quilt is 96 inches long. So far it's 32 inches wide. That's only 2 squares going across. Oh, let me mind my manners. First of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, those in the bushes, the moderators who make it possible for me to be here. Their names are in blue. I'd like to thank the people who donated all these jeans for me to make my mother a quilt. Especially shout out to my Renaissance grandma. And oh, Joanne says it's still over 100 degrees. Wow. Big Rooster donated jeans. My granddaughter Sharita did a collection where she works, and a lot of those tiny jeans were, let me see, I had to sew like the whole leg of some of the tiny ones in the slots, and it's just going to be cute. So I actually have a picture of it going to upload in a while, but I don't know. Excuse the green back there. The green is actually my green screen, but I'm doing this to show you guys that everybody can quilt. And yes, quilting can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be. You can get upcycles, you can get leftovers. I will tell you this though, jeans do ravel a lot, and sorry, you do have to press them. So you can see like this piece has a seam going across it. It was actually a skirt. I made it do what it do. And do what it does, mother. Oh, I have to tell you guys a funny story. So Saturday I was talking to you all, and oh, I forgot to say, if you're here on the replay, thank you. Please leave a message. I love reading messages. and you have to check back in. It should be comfy, Mike. You know how you lay on the bedspread and you don't want to turn the bed back and make it up once it's made up? My mother's bed gets made up every day and it's turned back, but that's what that looks like. And this is what the backing is going to be. And it's a very wide backing. It's by Kona, which is a very thick, heavy fabric. I like using Kona fabrics when I use like my African fabrics and my batiks because they have some body to them. But this quilt will be approximately three, what is it, 3 yards. So which is 108. Yeah, 36 times 3 is 108. This quilt will be a little bit more than 3 yards, so like 3 1/4. But I bought 4 yards of this really wide fabric because I want to take what's left over and make her some pillowcases that might mix and match to go with it. So, you like my headband? Thank you. The kids gave me a bunch of headbands for Christmas. How was her birthday? Oh, she had a ball. We actually had a surprise party, but first, her gift was to take her to church. She hasn't physically been able to go to church, I want to say, for 4 or 5 years. So it was my granddaughter Sharita's idea to go to church. And then part of the family came up from New York City and met mommy at church. I didn't because I live on the other side of Connecticut. And with my legs and my knee replacement just 6 months ago, it's a lot for me. So, and it was raining. I don't usually travel in the rain. For those of you who don't know, I can drive. I have a driver's license. I don't like to drive. I seldom drive at all, and it was raining. So my mother said, "Oh, Penny's not coming. It's raining." And the restaurant we were in, we had like a small private room, and was at the head of the table was a seat for her. And then my daughter, I'm like, I'm the assistant matriarch. So I had to say, well, who's sitting there? So my daughter said, you want to sit there, Mom? Where else will the assistant queen want to sit? So I'm just kidding. They let me sit next to mommy. I always try to sit next to her. Mother, she's going to see this. Mother, everyone is saying happy birthday. Mike, Chaotic Gardening, asked how your birthday was. Yankee sister, Maria Graham. Maria Graham actually sent her a card. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I like these. I didn't like these glasses. I'm getting used to them. Nancy, our treasured home. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. So, before I talk about quilts, the G and the Q, let's talk about gardening because I was well, first of all, you guys, there is so much going on. For those of you who don't know, or you have the free version of StreamYard, that is going to end. I got an email. I have an introductory offer for StreamYard. It's supposed to be for a year at for like $10. Guess what? No. October 3rd, which is my billing date, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to even use StreamYard today, but I paid them one more month. It's everybody who has StreamYard. The lowest plan they will have is going to be $44.89. The next price is like $89 per month, mind you. And the third price is $200 per month. Mother, I forgot. Somebody else was saying happy birthday or something. Oh, our treasured home said happy birthday, Mother. She had a ball. We had bun cakes, the specialty little bun cakes with the icing on it. with the lemon and I think vanilla. Mom's not supposed to be eating that sugar. Well, let's just say she had more than one piece, and she loved it. Then they had the best ice cream. It tasted like home churn. It tasted like Haagen-Dazs ice cream. So, who knows what this is? It didn't do well in the garden. Yes, Yankee Sister Homestead, StreamYard, the lowest plan they have is going to be $45. They haven't said anything about a free plan. Does anybody know what this is in this bag? And every little bit counts, no matter how little it is. No matter how little it is. Who knows what this is? I wish. Oh, maybe they're so small though. I don't know if I can get any seeds out of them. Nobody knows what this is? Put a one in the chat if you think it's bananas. If you think these are bananas. Yankee sister got it. It's white eggplant. And they're so itty bitty. Juanita Campbell. She says she likes to be in the bushes, but she knows what it is. Yes. And they're tiny. They're a little bit beat up. But guess what? This is enough for me for a couple of meals. A couple of meals. So, yeah, my eggplant didn't do well at all. I started with 6, and they were mixed seeds, some white and some the purple, the Japanese one, which is the long narrow one, because I thought I would stand a better chance at getting to them before the squirrels. Mike said those will cook up fine. Yes, 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 y'all. So I was teaching someone about propagating, and I gave her some basil out of my yard, and I brought some inside for me to cook that day, and I pinched a little piece off just so I could show her, look at this. I mean, this is a tiny, tiny piece. Look at all the roots. Yes, you can root basil. Look at all this. I was going to stick it in my arrow garden, but then I said, why? I need the arrow garden for something. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. I got your guts out. Oh, now I'm going to have to plant her. Or maybe I could twirl her down. Twirl her down. Twirl her down. We were looking at family pictures. Welcome in, Juanita Campbell. We were looking at family pictures, and we talk about the kids and what they wear. Of course, I'm not going to show it here, but Auntie Joanne found the cutest picture of me in like a little suit dress. And of course, I had those legs crossed and big old legs and thighs. But there was another picture. I had been talking about my great granddaughters and their booty shorts, right? Guess what? Auntie Joanne found a picture of me sitting on my balcony trying to gain 11 pounds so I could get my first job after graduation from Howard, my first full time job, and carry all my equipment and my pew-pews and everything and all the stuff, and weighing 124 pounds in my little booty shorts up there. I don't know. I think she used some AI to do that, and they glued my face on that girl with them booty shorts on. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. So back to the garden real quick before we talk about other things. I did something else just for the heck of it because it's starting to get cool. Auntie Joanne said, "No, she did not pay, copy and paste, or do some nefarious thing." I don't want to drop this on the computer, but can you see all these roots in here? Yankee Sister Home said, "This is I broke a piece off the top of the black cherry that you gave me." Hey, Unbiased LLC, welcome, welcome in, working and listening. She's saying hello to everyone. So I know that tomatoes are not going to make it in Connecticut in 6B, and it's in the 50s at night already. So I rooted this, and I'm going to put it in some soil and put it under the grow lights and hope I can grow some black cherry tomatoes. You know, tomatoes and peppers can go for 2 years if they're in the right environment. I don't have the right environment, and I'm not bringing them bugs in my house and gnats and all those things. Oh, a funny story. My mother was watching the show, the Garden Quilt and Art Show, on her TV. And Sunday, when we were sitting at her birthday, she said, "Were all those tomatoes from your garden?" "No, Mom, they were from somebody else's garden." "What about the bell peppers and the pub?" She didn't know. And then there were poblanos and some jalapenos. I'm going to have somebody this weekend show me their version of jalapeno poppers. I got plenty, plenty, plenty cream cheese. Urban Garden Chronicles, UGC, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. She says, "Yep, no bugs in the house. Nope, we've been there, done that." Although I still have some of those big yellow sticky papers. So, was that all the gardening stuff I was going to tell you? Oh, and one of you family members sent me a card. I love getting cards and words of kindness. I won't read it out loud or say the name, but it's really, really, really sweet. And it was actually this one was, "Mother, if you're watching, it's a birthday card for you, Mother dearest. It's a birthday card for you. I'll give it to you." Making sure you saw me, Ellen. Oh, thank you. Psalm 146, thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. You and my little bean juice. So, they they are like cleaning up the gardens around here because it's cool. Psalm 146, good God's glorious evening, everyone. Joanne Stevens said this card is pretty and so thoughtful. So thoughtful. So, you guys, I do, whoops, this thing is heavy. The whole seed catalog is out, you guys, for Baker Creek. They call themselves Rare Seeds online, rareseeds.com. You can order one. Tina, the New Orleans gardener, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Tina, I ain't got as much. Oh, you all, if you all are not familiar with the New Orleans gardener, you need to go back and look at some of her videos because she's talking about the tin beds, and they reduce a lot of critter damage. A lot of critter damage. Look at this, T-Nog. They ain't much, but I got a few little white eggplants. Yes, so the tin beds, just because I didn't fill them up yet, I didn't want people borrowing all that potting mix and stuff in there. I did the hugelkultur method of putting the old raised bed, the wooden raised bed that fell. I put that in the bottom of there, the sticks, the legs. I had some branches. I had a couple baskets of grass clippings. I had the good potting soil, the soil that came out of the other raised beds, and I put them in the two tin beds that I got, right? And I just lifted some of the containers that were sitting on the ground, a couple of them, and put them on the prepared raised beds. It's already fertilized and everything. And I noticed the kale and the plants that I put inside on top of the raised bed, the snails can't climb up there. We got snails that are mating out there in my garden. I caught a picture of them live. Yeah, so that cuts down on a lot of critter damage that would like to come up. So the New Orleans gardener, T Nug, is saying hello to everyone. And yes, I did fertilize them heavily with my fish emulsion, aka 511. Awesome. No snail. Well, the snails are out there, but they just haven't crawled up the snails and slugs. Whew. Slugs so big they look like snakes. So, does anybody have any questions? So, I will show you guys. Actually, I will pull this out because I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and show you guys a technique when you're sewing these really, really big quilts, these really big ones. How do you do this? How do you do this? Some people sew quilts sideways because that's usually a shorter row. I don't. I sew my quilts vertically in columns because I generally try to add the seams up. But all these funny sized jeans that I patch together. And Mother, yes, this one is yours. This one, Connecticut is overrun with those grass bugs. Yeah, and what are those other things that go under the soil? They're round. Um, because my garden is next to a big green lawn. Say Bone Mike, the New Orleans gardener, is saying, and everybody's speaking. So let me get a tissue and go over to the sewing machine so I can show you how you manage these big heavy quilts. This quilt will be 112 inches wide and 96 inches long. So this is the 96 inches long going this way. Maria Graham, the New Orleans gardener, saying hello, her beautiful sister. She's such a good person. All of you guys are. I'm proud to have all of y'all in my family. And I was saying to someone about Auntie Ellen. I'm not saying Auntie Ellen, just like Aunt Jemima wasn't my aunt, but I ate her syrup. It's just a name. Casings 55. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, no, I haven't dropped anything lately today, so I will go over and show you how I put these big long pieces of quilt together. So here we go. Get you guys on a straight angle and don't bend over in front of the screen. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So you can see it. Mm. I wasn't sure that I was even going to be able to stream today on StreamYard because of the billing situation and whatnot, because they ain't getting my $45 a month. You know what? That's almost cell phone. That's almost a cell phone bill. That's something else I could be doing with that money. No, and I'm going to try to. Those of you who came in and sat through the ads, I appreciate it. You can help all the channels by listening, sitting through the ads, because that helps us to grow. It helps the algorithms so that they show it to more people. And, it just is what it is. Some of us are on here just trying to do a good deed, trying to teach people what we know. Yes, Psalm 146. It's 44.86 per month for like the basic plan. Then the next plan is $89 or like $88 and some change, $44 and some change. But the business plan was definitely $200. For those of you who go live every day or go live a lot, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so does anybody have any questions before I start sewing? I'm going to show you I pin these, how I pin these. So first I want to show you, I have the numbers of the columns. The ones you saw in back of me when I was sitting on the chair, those were rows 1 and 2. So I have 3 and 4. One thing you want to make sure of is when you put them together, don't put 4 before 3 if you've already laid them out. Ask me how I know. I have put together quilts that had, like, I want to say 20 or 30 columns going across, like the one that Turf Therapy got, the Scrappy 9 patch with 2,500 pieces. And not that particular quilt, but I got all the way to the end and reversed 2 of the rows that were in the middle, and I had to go in the quilt and take it out. So if nobody has any questions, I will show you how I pin this together. And I'm working here on a small table. So what you can do to keep the weight off your sewing machine, this is actually a heavy duty sewing machine, but even still, this part, this part underneath, that's called the throat. This is not the biggest of throats. I will not be quilting, meaning the assembling the 3 parts of the sandwich together on this machine. This quilt, it will be going to a long armor that I'm familiar with. When I had my long arm machine, I met this lady, excuse me, in Tennessee, and she passed. So her husband is running the long arm business now. So I have to pay extra for the shipping there and back, but it's worth it. So I'm going to have them put a very thin polyester batting. I never use polyester, or I'll say very rarely. I will in this one because I want the little fancy stitching, and I think I'll have them do a meandering star on it, and which is like a star like this, and then you wiggle around and then do it. But I can't do it on this domestic machine because that's too much twisting and turning for my shoulders. So what I'm doing, I'm lining these up. If your seam somehow is a little bit crooked like this, you see this little part? I just take the scissors and even them off so that when I'm sewing down, it doesn't make a little jump. So what I'm going to do is each, making sure that I don't twist this, talking. Hold on. So yeah, that's 3, 4. And going down this side, I'm lining up the seams. Oh, and then the odd number rows I press with the seams going down, and the even number rows I press with the seam going up, so that they do something called nestling. Nestling. I'll probably stick myself a few times with these pins because these jeans are a little too heavy to use these little clips on. I don't know. Maybe I'll try a couple of them. So what I'm doing, I'm only matching up the 16-inch blocks, and I have 6 going down, and the final quilt will have 7 blocks going across. So I'll put this little clip here to see how that works. I'm not using another camera today because these heavy jeans will probably knock it over. The tripod is sitting there, but it was too much going on. Actually, something did just fall. It's only a pair of scissors. So this row is going up. This row is going down. But what I really want to show you is how you manage a big long column that you're sewing like this. So this row's going up, the bottom one is going down. I'm just going to snip this a little bit. You don't have to do that. That's just me being OCD-ish. Just me. But I have an excuse in quilting because they like everything done a certain way, or when you're exhibiting quilts. So I don't know what happened with this one. They're both going the same way. I must have not realized that this was the seam on this one, but it's okay. It'll be thick, but I can sew over it. Why? Because this is a heavy duty machine. Oh, and guess what? I have what's called denim needles in here. And because this particular machine happens to be a Singer machine, I like to use products that are made for their devices. So I do buy Singer needles, even though I have all kinds. And okay, let me see what's going on. Oh, there's a prayer list. Thank you. Mike said he's been rinsing with peroxide to clear out the infection. It must be in his tooth. I Maria Graham said that's going to be a nice quilt, Auntie. I know. I can't wait to get on it on my mom's bed, on my mother's bed. So everybody goes and gets on mommy's bed. It's a high poster, king size bed, and we use daddy's side as the extra hotel. So I'm going to get this lined up so that it's not pulling on the sewing machine because of the weight. I have enough table for it to go over the side. But what you do when you're sewing these big long quilts like this, you throw it over your shoulder like that. Did you guys know that? That you throw it over your shoulder. You also do it when you're actually hand quilting and wiggling and moving the things around. For those of you who got the templates, I do know, Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick, welcome in. I do know that I think Maria Graham, who else? Who else? Joanne Stevens, Unbiased, have the templates that go over. So this is what you do. You throw the extra long quilt when you're doing a bed quilt or something, or even a long, a twin quilt can be long, and you put it over your shoulder. I'm using, I don't know if you'll actually be able to see the stitches, which is the other reason I didn't put an extra camera, because I'm using this royal blue thread, and it is a polyester thread. Polyester thread is strong, and to be sewing these big old jeans. So I have my stitch length on 3 millimeters. Yeah, millimeters. I have the stitch width on 0, and I will be doing a straight stitch for this. If you have to leave for any reason before, I'm just going to sew 2 of these seams in front of you so that I can show you how I do it. Because before I send it to the long armor or before I quilt anything, I put a row of stitches around the entire outer perimeter, and you can straight stitch, or if you have a machine with a zigzag, you can do that. Hold on, I'm going to go into the chat so I can kind of see what you guys are doing and saying. Okay, live with GQuat. I'm saying now I'm stuck in my ads, but that's okay. I'm gonna do just what Broke Farmer says. I'm just gonna be stuck in them until they play. So let's go. So now with a a big piece like this, it's okay to sew fast. I sew fast on big clunky things like this. So now it's rolled off. So I'm sewing down. And I have a placemat underneath my sewing machine. It acts as a muffler for the noise. And underneath that, I have one of those rubber, the rubber mats that you put under your little throw rugs to keep them from slipping. So away we go. Oh, one thing I want to show you guys, for those of you who are new at quilting, rooted in essential oils. Hey, famous, how you doing? Hello, everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, my Bella's over there. I got all this stuff over my shoulder. It's heavy. I can't read it. Well, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. So this side of the seam is going up. The other is going down. I know some of y'all can't wait to get in some of those jeans. I would not be able to make this quilt for my mother. She saw the one that ARD commissioned for his dad, and my mother said, "Is that for me?" I don't deny my mother anything. I started collecting jeans because all the secondhand stores I went to with my sister Joanne Stevens, oh, hunty, those jeans were like $27 a pair, used, and they weren't even big. Maria Graham says it's 75 degrees in South Carolina. Oh, that's nice. Here in Connecticut, it was like 55 degrees last night. Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you guys. For those of you who are beginning to quilt, when you sew, try to put your hands like on both sides of the needle. Try not to put your hand in the back and pull it, because a lot of the blocks that you make in quilting are half square triangles, and fabric that's on a diagonal stretches extremely, extremely easily. So this little clip did hold, but it didn't hold it flat. So I'm reaching underneath, making sure that one seam is up and one is down. Mother, I hope to get this out to the long armor by Saturday. So this is what you have to be careful of when you have it over your shoulder and you have a couple pins in it. You want to make sure that you're not sliding the pins against your skin. So I can't wait to show you guys. I can't wait to show you these two squares, because they have, these two vertical columns, because they have a lot of like pieced blocks where I didn't have any big blocks. And then Big Rooster sent me some where I got the 10.5-inch blocks. I saved those, and then later on, but in the beginning, I was patching together very tiny jeans, very tiny ones. Big Rooster, I saw you stinking up the alley. No, I'm not making fun of him, you guys. That's what he said he was doing at the bowling alley. He was having so much fun. They were having so much fun. I was watching them. Auntie Joanne Stevens said the jeans we saw at the Goodwill in Arizona stayed right there. They sure did. We got some other little goodies, but we did not get NT jeans. Not get NT jeans. But Big Rooster is in the house, Mother. He was the one that sent the first big jeans that I got. Then I got some from my granddaughter's husband. Shout out to my Renaissance grandma. And I will link their names in the chat. In the description after this, because this is the coolest quilt. Oh yeah, Big Rooster, I like that Steelers shirt you had on yesterday. It was so pretty and white and clean. We are in up and down weather there. Mike says 60 degrees. So, Yankee's sister, you guys, her kids go to dance class less than a mile from where I live, so she's threatened to come by and co-host with me sometimes. Right, sister? Mi hermana? So we hope to have that surprise for you guys soon. Auntie Joanne Stevens, not putting her on the spot, but putting her on the spot. She says, I'm making sure that I get both seams. Because sometimes when it's heavy fabric, it pulls away and you're only sewing on one seam. Ask me if I already did that today, earlier. I looked in one piece, one little edge, but I fixed it. I fixed it, mother. Didn't have to ask for the master fix-it man upstairs. And I really wanted to go back and trim where the jeans are raveling a little bit, but I won't have time. Oh, you don't see him in the chat? Oh, okay. Somebody was just saying a shout out to Big Rooster. Okay, you guys. So I will show you this because it's so exciting. Mother, and all the rows, all the columns are sewn together, you guys. I just have to connect them, and I'll show you what I'm doing. So I'm back stitching. So this is a big block quilt. The blocks are 16.5 inches before they're trimmed. And I just sloppily wrote on this card, and then I decided how I was going to set it up. So there'll be 7 big blocks across, 6 rows down for those who came in. And the layout is like this. So rows 1 and 2 I had hanging behind my chair. Right now I'm sewing 3 and 4 together, and then that will be like these 3, and I'll put 3, 4, and 5 together, and then 6 and 7. And then at the end, there won't be so far. I only have to go 32 inches and roll this part up to get it under here to sew it together. So I planned how I'm going to construct this. When you're working on these really big quilts, you have to plan ahead. And yeah, this thread is so blue I couldn't see it, but I remember that I backspaced it. My little pink snips, white pink, because I don't have much pink in me apart the mantle, and I can find them sometimes when I drop them. So let's pull out the pins and let's see what we have, Mother. Let's see what's going on with your quilt. I said Mother, Hershey ran over here. He thinks Grandma's in here. Grandma's not here. So check this out. Whew. Look at this block, you guys. This was like 3 pieces that were funny shaped, like a legged shape tapered, of the tiny jeans that I had to put together to make that block. So this is what the rest. Look at this one. This one I didn't have enough. I think that was like a pocket, so I put a little white piece on there. This is going to be so cute. Look at this. This was a pair of tattered jeans. So I made it look like it was darn, like, zigzag, zigzag to patch it together. And guess what? If it comes loose at some point in the next whatever, I will just hand sew a patch on it. So That's 3 and 4. So here is 5. And I did them the opposite way so that I don't have the big rows, more than 3 rows, going through the the machine. So let me turn it around. And I used to use paper paper for the numbers on here, but to this time I used just some masking tape. Baby, even these 3 strips are heavy. Heavy. You wanted a heavy quilt? My mother likes heavy quilts. The first quilt I made her and my dad like 25 years ago was a king size quilt, and he wanted polyester extra thick polyester backing. I'll look up 1 minute, you guys. I'm just trying to find the number 5 up here. And here it is. And to make sure that I get the block lined up right. So you can already see how cute this is going to look. You see the dark blue next to the light blue. So what I do, I make sure that these are on the correct side. And then I pin this one. A comfort. Yes, it'll be like a weighted blanket for those of you who use or like weighted blankets for therapy. Lucky, mommy won't have to make up her own bed. So, what I'm doing is getting this side out of the way, making sure the top edges are even. And then I only pin the seams, the seams where the blocks line up. So now the top one I have going down, the bottom one going up. Just going to cut this. So this is just like only 5 blocks that I have to pin. Let me try to line them up so that they're even. You don't have to. As long as the top of the quilt, the blocks meet and the bottom meet. Okay. So this is how you put together a big quilt for those of you who have king size beds. But guess what? Even with a queen size bed, I make king size quilts, maybe not this big, the Clara Pankey king size quilt big, or Joanne Stevens king size quilt big. But I like my quilts, most quilts, the measurements that they have, they are not they're talking about the top of the mattress, not hanging down the side of the bed. Woo. Wrestle with this big boy. Wrestling with it. So I'm just lining up these seams. These 2 happen to both be going up, but that's okay. I tried to, but I had someone helping me iron these, and I wasn't specific with the instructions about the seams. But that comes later on with practice, because I'm always working on several projects at the same time. I'll look up in 1 minute, you guys. I just want to keep these going in the same direction. The post office will weigh this when I take it there, because I'm going to have the backing in it, not the batting. I'm going to use their batting this time. I usually either have my cotton batting delivered for my projects with this long armor, or I send it in the box. But this is enough weight to be mailing. at today's prices. So, just 1 minute, you guys. As soon as I pin the bottom of this block, I will look up in the chat and see if you have any questions. Ouch. Oh, by the way, if you guys ever are sewing or do something, prick yourself, Wellness with Frugal Mama. Come in, come in, come in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you ever stick yourself and like with a little pinprick or something, the only thing that will remove blood is your own saliva. Did you know that? How did you know that? So, I'm looking to see if anybody has any questions. Oh, yeah, to drop your channel link for content creators, put exclamation mark GQUAT. And any of you who are not familiar with each other, please visit each other's channels. Now, most people who know me know that I work out every morning anyway, but I started putting Frugal Mama on at 7 a.m. because it's like she's calling cadence. It's like she sounds like a drill sergeant back there, and I enjoy that. It keeps me motivated. I also have somebody who reminds me too. Did you do it? I'm best early in the morning. I wake up 3 o'clock every morning, and then I say I'm going back to sleep, but then I can't. I start doing something. Like I'll come this morning. I started ironing on these blocks. Mother, I started ironing your blocks 3 o'clock this morning because I just wanted to sew this one side. Oh, I was going to show you a picture of something in the back. I don't remember. Okay, so I will be almost finished. I got like 5 minutes. Then I'll show you, I'll stand up and show you the side. And this will be the center section. So 16 times 3 is 48. So this piece will be, and I usually use a 1/4 inch seam for these heavy jeans. I'm using like a bit more than a 1/4 inch. I'm using like a third of an inch because I don't want it to slip or pull. Just cutting a few of those strings off. Now, if I had cut those with the rotary cutter with those little zigzag blades in it, it would not have raveled as much. But it's okay. It's going to be inside the quilt sandwich, and no one will know all these strings I left in your quilt, Mother. She'll tell me. She'll tell me when she sees me. Let me tell you. And for heavy things, these are actually hat pins. I used half hat pins. Mr. Hershey's over there. He's sitting with his back to me, watching the door, daring anything to move or knock on his door. Knock on his door. Boy, this is so heavy. I don't even know if I can get up on my shoulder. Whoa. Okay, let's go. Let's get it. Just making sure that seam underneath there is flat. What's going on with my phone? So, you guys, I'm just glad I didn't have to start already today with a new streaming program, but I will be soon. Hunty, as soon as this month's rent runs out, I'm packing up my spices and going on the road. That's a joke. One of my friends who was breaking up with their significant other one time said, "Honey, I'm leaving. Last time, do you know how much I paid for spices? They don't even cook. I'm taking my spices too. I'm like, oh no, not the spices. Not the spices. Yeah, the spices. Isn't that funny? You were doing an awesome job on that quilt. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe you'll get to come up and visit and stop by and see my mom and see this quilt. I will certainly take a picture of it. I'm going to take a picture of it before I mail it this weekend. But you know what? I don't have any place big enough to lay it out. I'm going to have to take it out. They cut the grass today here. They keep this property very well maintained. All kinds of flowers and everything. It's really a nice place. And I don't have to do it myself. I had a riding lawnmower on the North Carolina homestead. But I didn't even ride it. I paid somebody to come use my lawnmower and cut that 4 acres. Most of that part in the front was open, just open grass. Erica Taylor is driving and listening. I just want to show you guys this section because it's the biggest section, and then show you what I do around the edge so that it doesn't get, those of you who quilt or have quilted, you know how you get waffly, ravelly edges on some quilts? Well, by doing stay stitching or flat stitching, or I'm looking for this to stick this all under because I see it raveling up. Yes, I have other devices, but this is what I have right now. I'm using what I have, and I'm going to read off the dimensions for those of you who are making your own pattern. I have the dimensions of how big they say to make each quilt, but I always make mine bigger. That was just sewed over like 6 seams going 100 miles an hour. And if I didn't say it, I do have denim needles in here, a denim needle, but you could buy needles that say heavy duty sewing, that say denim, or say leather. They're like size 16, 18, 20, and up. So this is it, you guys. This is the bottom of this. Then I can stay stitch around this part. I will not here on camera. I'm making sure that's flat. I won't do it on camera, but I will attach it to the 1 and 2 over there, and then 6 and 7. Thank you, you guys. And this quilt isn't going in halves, Maria Graham. This quilt is like it's 7 rows, 7 divided by 3. So it won't be half, but I'm going to show you this because the other 2 are up on the wall that I showed you. They're still up there pinned to the bookcase, but I'm going to show you this, and it's still 48 inches. That's quite a bit. Okay, so let me read to you the sizes that they say. If you want to write it down, it says that a twin size quilt is 63 inches by 87. A double quilt or a full quilt is 78 by 87. A queen quilt is 84 by 92 inches, and a king size quilt is 100 inches by 92 inches. This quilt is going to be 112 inches wide and 96 inches long. So it's going to be bigger, 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 like a California queen. So look at this, you guys. I'm going to stand up and show you because it has so many unique blocks. And of course, the final block has my denim label custom from Unbiased LLC. So this is what I will do. How about this? Oh, that's the bottom. Let me start at the top. Or that was. Okay, so you can see the top with the numbers. I will take a picture. Actually, I do have a picture of the piece that's up there. Oh, so let me sit down. Let me show you some of the interesting blocks. Like, look at this one with all the pieces. So, the next thing I'm going to do when I get this all put together is to just zigzag around the edge. Then I have one more double row to put together. Then I will press this very well and send it out to the long armor. Yay! We did it, Mother. You're going to get your quilt. Are there your denim quilt? I don't even have one. I don't have a regular quilt except a memory quilt from my dad. Just gifted. Hey, Sonia, Auntie Ellen, and everyone in the chat. I watch y'all from the bushes. I watch everything from the bushes because I don't have to have my glasses on. These big super coolers have the Blu-ray thing, and they really feel good on your eyes. I can tell the difference when I wear them and the dollar store glasses. I sure can. I sure can. So, does anybody have any questions? Does anyone have any questions? I will take a photo and I will take a photo of the whole quilt before I send it out. And if you're interested in seeing a little short with the two pieces up on the back of the bookcase, I made a little short just before I went live today. So without further ado, peace, love, and blessings to everyone. Ego amote. I love you. And hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on, you guys, for the outro. Just a minute. This computer is acting so funny.